last 12 years, I've coached a crazy amount of competitors, literally into the thousands. And what I've noticed is there's clear key markers that separate the successful from those that will not be. And today in this video, I'm going to break all these down for you and talk with you, teach you some things that's going to save you a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of money, frankly, going into the competition space. If you guys don't know, I'm Ryan Milton from Team FFLEX, and we're here pumping content all the time for you. So please make sure at any point in time, if you get any piece of value out of this video, you just smash that subscribe button, and it's probably gonna help you place better at your next show if you do it. Let's dive in, you guys. You know, Team FFLEX, we've been around a long time. We've gone through a couple different name changes. I've been doing this competitor coaching for literally 12 years at this point, you know, getting a lot more frequent and I guess you could say more and more competitors in the later part of my career. But to this day now, I got coaches under me. I got, you know, people training competitors under me. We got tons and tons of competitors on this team, and it becomes very clear and easy to see the markers of what makes someone successful versus not. When you really look at the grand scheme of things, you guys, if you want to be your best competitor, the first thing you got to consider is making sure that you got the right coaching approach, okay? And I talk a lot about coaching on this channel, and it's because it's one of the key most critical things. There's a lot of people that go into self-coaching and they're like, all right, I want to do bikini competition, I want to do wellness, I want to do men's physique. I mean, it looks pretty easy. I just work out and I diet myself and I go to stage, right? But realistically, there are so many variables that come into a successful prep, and having a coach to guide you is the key step to the entire process from the beginning. You guys, every sport in the world has, you know, a team and star athletes and then a coach behind them. You're not going to find anybody in any top level sport that doesn't have a coach, or multiple for that matter coaches. So if you think you're going to go into a competition and you're going to do your best and you're going to be your best self-coaching, I'll tell you, you're wrong. And the reason is you're going to constantly be, for one, having to plan everything out yourself. All right, you're going to have to like take yourself from where you're at, what knowledge you may have or may not have right now, and figure out what you need to learn, what you need to know, what you're going to have to, you know, manipulate basically in your mind to figure out how you can be your coach and also the client. It just is it's a whole fiasco, because what you're going to do is you're going to learn stuff, you're going to plan yourself out some meals, you're going to plan out some nutrition, you're going to plan out, you know, your workouts and everything else and how to pose and all this, and realistically you're never going to know if that's the right move to make or not. And then on the back end, you have to go execute that as an athlete, which just really is going to, you know, detract from your ability to even perform. What I always tell competitors is when you get a good coach, you got someone to guide you, you got somebody that can teach you, like it's gonna take you to the next level, because you can be the absolute athlete. You think about like all these star people like Michael Jordan and, you know, all these famous athletes that we all know just in the back of our mind, even we don't watch sports. And they had great coaches, okay? They were able to become the best athlete because they had full time to dedicate towards actually just being that athlete. They weren't worried about, you know, oh, how many free throws do I have to throw? How many times do I need to practice today? What do I need to eat? What do I need to lift? They weren't worried about that. They get a coach that tells them what to do, and they go and execute on it, okay? And so having a good coach in bodybuilding, doing competitions, period, is the single key most important variable. And this is what I've learned. I've seen people over the years fail if they don't have a coach. They don't have somebody guiding them. All right, I've seen people that get bad coaches and they fail too. So really making sure that you have a great coach and you have someone to guide you and take you on that journey and be there with you is one of the most important factors for being your best competitor, period, okay? Another thing I've learned, you guys, over all the years coaching competitors would be that nobody is the same, okay? And this kind of ropes back to even having bad coaches. A lot of the industry, unfortunately, is about, hey, here's a bikini competitor meal plan. Hey, here's a bikini competitor workout plan. Hey, here's this approach I gave 3 other girls and it works, so it's probably going to work for you. It's a lot of generic stuff, you guys. A lot of coaches in this game, they just want to make money. They want to treat people like a number. They want to pump out things. They might have had a few people that did okay at a show, and now they're selling you this, all right? Or, you know, the Instagram bio coaches that we see that have 0 qualifications, 0 idea what they're doing. Maybe they did a show, maybe they didn't, and now they're selling you plans on how to be, you know, how to win your show, how to be a coach. It's crazy. And realistically, what I've seen over the time is nobody's the same. Everybody is totally individual. You're not the same as me. I'm not the same as you. You're not the same as your sister, your brother, your mom, your uncle, your best friend, whoever. Everybody has to have their own custom approach. And this goes to even looking at all the top athletes in the sport. You don't want to be looking at them and copying their workouts. You don't want to be looking at them and copying their nutrition. You don't want to do that, because what works for them is probably not going to work for you. In fact, I can tell you it for sure won't. And the reason is we're all individuals, you guys. Even if you had an exact identical twin, it's not going to be the same approach you need to actually get yourself ready for a competition, okay? So realistically, what you got to understand is that everybody is an individual person, and that means you have to have everything be custom for you, right? Team FFLEX, for example, you guys, we've been doing this forever. I've coached so many programs. I've built so many successful contest prep programs in my career. It's insane, and they're all different. They're all individual. We're all getting in there, figuring out where's this athlete's strong points, where's their weak points, where are they now versus where they need to be, how do we get them there, and building it. Building that from the training perspective, from the nutrition perspective, from the posing perspective. I can't even say perspective anymore. I'm saying it so many times, right? You got to think about the facts that everything ropes together, being you going about your bodybuilding journey and you needing what you need to get there. And this is something that's lost in the coaches that I would call, lazy. The ones that want to just regurgitate a meal plan, regurgitate a training program, give you the same thing they gave 100 other people and call it good because you paid anyway. And that's just not how coaching should work. It's not how it should be there. Coaches should be there to guide you every step of the way and, be able to be the people that can design you that custom plan, design you that approach, know when you need, the physical changes as well as the mental ones, how to get your mindset right, how to prime all these things, how to pose you. All of this comes into play when we're talking about customization and also coaching. So it's almost like these two things are synonymous. You got to have them both. You want to have a great coach. You want to have a custom plan. You go into anything trying to be your best competitor and you don't have these two variables, I promise you, you're not your best competitor. You might do okay here and there. You might be able to go to the show where there's 2 people in your class and place because top 5 gets awards, but you're not going to be the person that's ever going to be the best they could have been had you had these variables. So make sure you're not cutting corners on any of that. None of it. Not the coaches, nothing, all right? Make sure you're always investing in yourself the same way that you would want to invest in any part of your life. You're going to go pay a lot of money for a nice TV, pay a lot of money for a nice coach, okay? It's all important, guys, what you got to understand. Coaching so many competitors and being at so many shows and knowing all the top level judges and the promoters of every event in the NPC and the IFBB and learning from them, I've learned so many different things too that rope back to exactly what I'm saying. When I sit down with Sandy Williamson, you guys have probably seen the interviews. If you haven't, they're on the channel. Another reason to subscribe. We interview a lot of the top judges, promoters, learn things, top athletes too, so that, I can learn stuff, I can give you guys stuff, and together we're all getting better, right? So make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet, but also, when I'm talking to Sandy, what she's telling me is a lot of the same things that I'm telling you guys right now. And it's kind of weird. Sometimes I'm like, whoa, she says she learns from me, I learn from her, we learn together. That's the sport. And what we really get out of that is understanding of the fact that, one of the biggest factors that she always says is a problem is people trying to look like every other competitor. All you amateurs out there in the NPC, or maybe you're even a new IFBB pro, you go look at the top bikini competitors. You go look at the top wellness competitors. You go look at the top men's physique, classic physique, whatever, and you say, all right, I need to look exactly like that in order to win, or I want to look that way to be my best, blah, blah, blah. But here's the interesting thing about all the greats, you guys. All the top competitors, all the people you look up to and will deem a success or say is the best, they are the best because they took an individualized path, right? They didn't go and look at everybody else on top and say, all right, I want to look like her, I want to look like him, I want to be that person. What they go and they do is they say, all right, how do I become my best self? And that's really what I think bodybuilding is actually about. That's why I got involved in bodybuilding. I started coaching for bodybuilding. I have this love for the sport because I think physically, mentally, and on so many other levels, it is one of the most challenging sports that you can possibly do. Definitely one of the ones mentally, because every single day what it requires of you is to go out and figure out how to carve your best, how to be your best, how to deal with the mental battles. It's funny because we have all these teams, obviously Team FFLEX, there's other teams in the sport, but this is an individual sport, you guys. Like this is you versus you every day. You're gonna eat your meals. Are you gonna do your workouts? Are you gonna train as hard as you could? Are you gonna focus on your sleep and get everything else? Are you gonna have all these variables working for you or against you? And the interesting thing, right, I've talked about it before, is the time you spend on stage is actually very small, right? You go to a show and you could be getting on stage. In some of these classes, the routines are gonna be 10, 12 seconds. You're gonna be on stage. Then you're gonna be in there for comparisons, but you might spend a maximum of a few minutes on stage on your show day, which is crazy to think about, right? Considering most people, they could be training for a competition goal for a year. You might need to do an improvement phase first, build that right muscle, build that shape, that size, that symmetry, all the things judges want to see, and then go into your prep there. At the very least, you're going to have done a decent amount of prep where you probably spent the better part of a year getting in preparation for a show. And if you do this routinely, you're doing this, year to year, on and on, what you're going to see is that the more shows you do, the more time you actually take to focus on those improvements. More time you take to actually spend the time getting there and being your best and improving every time show to show. You know, it's kind of crazy to think that the judges see none of that. You know, your coach really doesn't even see a lot of it unless you live with your coach, but I don't know who you are if you're living with your coach. It's kind of weird. But realistically, the judges don't see the work. The coach doesn't see the work. The coaches see on check-ins and, you know, the adjustments and the workouts and the training. But what you actually do, that's you versus you. And so I think it's a really unique thing that's part of the sport, and you have to be mentally strong. What I've learned coaching so many competitors over the years is you have to be mentally strong. This is not something you can gamble on. This is not something you can be wishy-washy on. Do not say you want to compete in bikini, wellness, figure, men's physique, classic, any of these divisions if you are not mentally ready to look in the mirror every single day and face yourself and figure out what you can do to be better, how you can be more disciplined, how you can execute your meals better, how you can execute your workouts better, how you can continue to improve, and every single day when you're making those improvements, look back and still say, all right, there's still work to do. Another thing I really like about bodybuilding as a whole, you guys, and when I say bodybuilding, I'm talking about every division out there, is the fact that it can be a thing to better your life forever, for literally your entire life. You know, we talk about the stage, we talk about preps, we talk about improvement seasons, but realistically, the things you learn from going about a path on contest prep, in bodybuilding, all this, is that these are things that can power you for life, okay? You learn how to be mentally strong. You learn how to be physically strong. You learn the discipline, and you learn, you know, how to push yourself every single day. And these types of things can really push into every facet of your life. You're a better bodybuilder. You're better at competing. You're going to be probably better at work. You're probably going to be better in your career. You're probably going to be better in your relationship, in your life in general, because you've learned these fundamental factors that can really power you forward. And when I say it's not for the people that can't get there mentally, it doesn't mean you can't get there eventually, okay? What I've also learned a lot over all this time is that if you have a good coach, you have a good program, you can literally accomplish anything if you have the right work ethic to follow it. Anybody out there can go about training, and they can have the right programming, coaching, all of that, and if you got that right effort, you can become a competitor no matter what. And you know, a lot of coaches wouldn't say this, a lot of coaches wouldn't agree with me. A lot of coaches would say, no, you have to have a certain frame, a certain structure, you have to be at a certain body fat percentage, or you know, it's just not gonna work. Those are lazy coaches, you guys. Those are coaches that don't want to spend the time and the effort. They want to pump you that generic plan. They want to take your money, you know, go buy themselves some new Jordans at the mall, and then, you know, call it good. Call it a prep. But realistically, the people that are going to be the best in the sport, the people that I believe are the best in the industry, and the most inspiring stories that everybody likes, are the people that look like they never should have been able to do it. Those transformations are always the one we see on Instagram or on YouTube's, and we're in awe. Those are the people that, you know, they came from nothing and became something great, and everybody wants to do that. It's literally the American dream in the sport of bodybuilding in a lot of ways, coming from where you are to where you could be, to max out and realize that your potential is unlimited. So if you're one of those people out there and you haven't competed before, or you're a beginner, or you've been interested but somebody told you couldn't, I would tell you that what I've learned in all the years coaching is that anybody can do this. Anybody can get on stage. Anybody can become a competitive athlete in the sport of bodybuilding and be successful if you're willing to put forth the work, and you're willing to work hard, and you're willing to go to the max. And again, you guys, this is not a generic thing. This isn't something you can Google. This isn't something you can get some shitty coach that's going to give you these generic plans and you're going to be able to do it. You got to have the right approach, the customization, the coach that's going to be there with you every step of the way. Because let's not forget, I'm not going to lie to you guys, and this is probably one of the last things I'm going to say in this video. I'm going a long time. I talk too much in these very often, but you know, it's a lot of good content, you guys. So if you're digging it, give me that thumbs up, please. I appreciate it. The last thing I want to say is, you guys, this sport is not something that, you know, there's going to be a lot of ups, and there's going to be way more downs, okay? It's just like life in general. You know, anytime you go in pursuit of something hard, something difficult, something outside your comfort zone, it's going to become more challenging. You're going to get in the spot where some days you feel really good, you're motivated, you're like, yeah, time to crush this workout. I'm so ready to eat my meals, do everything else I need to do. And then there's going to be days where you don't want to do any of it, and you want to quit the whole thing all together. So having, another time where you have a coach in your corner to guide you, to help you, to pick you up on those days, when you have a community, a team, people that are doing the same thing you're doing and you know them, and then maybe they're on and you're off that day, you guys can sync up and feel better together. These things that can propel you forward. This is in no way an easy journey, and a lot of times watching my channel, you probably think that I simplify it and it sounds pretty easy. He's always talking about it's done with thousands of people. Can't be that hard, right? But realistically, it's because of the effort that my clients put forward, my athletes put forward, and also that I do, and my coaches on my team do. The effort we bring together as a unit, a cohesive unit, trying to get to that stage. And there's no greater win for me, you guys, as a coach, than to see my athletes be successful, than to see my clients be successful, than to see somebody go from where they thought something was never possible and actually achieve it and attain it. Because what I see constantly, you guys, is this is a snowball effect. They grow, right? They go from, I don't even want to go to the gym because I'm uncomfortable. I think people are looking at me, to now I'm standing on a bodybuilding stage, in a bikini or in board shorts, showing off my physique for an entire audience of strangers I never know. And then I see that power take them to make other changes in life. They want to get a better job. They want to start their own business. They want to go further and become more because of what they learned through the sport of bodybuilding. So to wrap this video up, you guys, and really just kind of bring this point home, I would say what I've learned the most coaching competitors over the years, literally 12 years coaching thousands of people, so many different shows. I don't even have the exact numbers. It's been so much, so many times, but we literally have people on stage every single weekend. And what I can tell you is that bodybuilding will make your life better. It's something that will make your life better. If you are a person that didn't think you could do this and you want to do this, go for it. If you're a beginner that, you're getting pretty good and you're feeling good about what you're doing, keep competing. If you're somebody who's doing really well and you already got your pro card, or you want to get your pro card, you want to go to the top, keep doing it. Because no matter what, every show you do, every step you take, every day when you wake up to go work out, to eat right, and to better yourself physically and mentally, it's going to propel you further in life than you ever dreamed possible in every avenue possible. So do not sleep on the fact, you guys, that the greatest thing you can ever do is self-improvement. And bodybuilding is probably one of the best things for that period in the entire world. I hope this all made sense to you guys. I hope you got a lot out of this today. Maybe you were just hearing this on your cardio while you're cranking up, trying to, get through that 45 minutes as you're going to stage. But either way, you guys, I appreciate you being here and watching. Please make sure, if you haven't yet, you're subscribed. Give me that thumbs up. It helps a ton. The amount of people watching our channel, you guys, that are not subscribed, it's almost heartbreaking. I could cry about it. I literally could, but I won't, because you can hit that subscribe button right now. So please do that for me, you guys, and let me know in the comments what kind of stuff you guys want me to talk about more. I got a lot of ideas in my head. We got a lot of ideas. We're working in general, but let me know in the comments what kind of stuff would you like to know more about regarding whatever, and I'm happy to talk about it, and we will make those videos. So drop that comment. All right, thank you guys. Coach Rye, Team Flex, later.